Good morning, good afternoon. Raquel Redmond from Brava Art Press, presenting a video tutorial on construction. We have a 3D project for you this time. This project involves construction with timber, if you have bits and pieces of timber, or it could be done with cardboard. It's suitable for students in primary schools, I would say year 3, year 4, year 6, 7, up to junior high school. We will show how to do the joint technique to younger children, so probably everybody will be able to do construction. Here I have a couple of samples done in the past where students have joined pieces of timber to create this kind of construction, or we could call also sculptures, but for this time will be construction. There's another one here that has been done by students, and also after the joint was done and everything was dry, there was a second stage where obviously they painted with lovely bright colors. Here I have two samples that I have done using a combination of timber and cardboard. I'll tell you in a minute where the inspiration for this comes from. There is another one here that is made with cardboard, a cardboard you can find anywhere, just using bits of boxes cut out and some cylinders from paper towel or any cylinder that you find in the kitchen. Fantastic place to find things to do art with, the kitchen. So I got these two, and this one has been painted white, underpainted white before applying the color. This one we are going to try to apply the color directly. These ones here, I'd just like to talk briefly about this, the way they have been painted. We painted all the colors first, the plain colors. It's like blue and red on the base, yellow here. And then after we painted all the plain colors, we went and painted all the details. We will get back to it when the time comes to paint. I'd like to show you some samples of where can you get some inspiration. You can do it completely out of your imagination. You can imagine that you are making a strange tree or a strange dog or a strange cat, or you can probably invent some people. We found some ideas in Picasso's work. He did wonderful constructions and beautiful way to do, very imaginative way to do people like that. He also did another one here, very simple with a big head, and another one by Picasso. So they are, as I said, your teacher or yourself or your parents might decide whether you look for inspiration in other places, like going to the internet and getting some sculptures done by Picasso or constructions done by Picasso, or simply you can just use your imagination and go for it. We plan to do 2 videos about this project. We plan to do a video purely on construction, so you will learn how to put this together, how to join these bits, how to glue, what technique, because it's very important if you want to learn these things at school. The second video that relates to this first video on construction will be painting from the construction using paint, and also collaging, making a collage out of this. So you extend, as your teacher in the classroom, you can start by 3D, then you go to 2-dimension painting, and then 2-dimension collage. It's just a progression of different ways of solving problems and thinking, because you have to think in one way to do something like this, then to do a painting like that, you have to think in another way. And then you go back to collage and you think even another way. So this is very interesting project. Next step is to find out about what we need. What are the art materials that we need for this project? Basically, we will need bits of cardboard like this, which your mom or dad or your teacher can cut from a normal box in different shapes. So you can cut with scissors the shapes that you like to use to create something like that. We need a sort of a bigger shape to use as a base, like this one. That's cardboard. Now, if you are very lucky and your teacher is able to find some timber, bits and pieces of timber, we could do that using timber, like this one. It has been all done with timber and a bit of cardboard. So I have bits of timber here. You could use a timber base, a square one or a round one, and start building up different things, or using something long like that, with that, as I did there. And using also bits to create repetition, just to add some interest, like this one, got a repetition of paddle pop sticks here, and there is another repetitions of, I think there are toothpicks. As I said, cardboard can be found everywhere. Easy to find, the cylinders come from the kitchen, but timber is a bit more difficult to find. Most major cities have now centers, recyclable centers. We are talking about other materials now. Paint. This time we are going to use a different paint. This paint comes in small bottles, 250 mils, and is a runny paint. And to put the paint out on the table for students, is best to put on an ice cube tray like this, and also for the same purpose to use short brushes. Now, this brush used to be a long brush like that, and I cut it. I cut it like that because it's a lot easier when you use an ice tray like this to use short brushes. We are going to have a big brush, a medium brush, and a small brush. So when we paint, I'll show you how to use those. We also need some glue in this container. These containers are really, really good because they got lids and they're easy to find in takeaway shops. And also we need glue. This glue is called Chroma 2 glue and is perfect for young children, for any classroom, because it's not running. And it's a really good quality, non-toxic glue. So what I'm doing here, I'm just putting some glue on my container with a bit of cardboard, and this is what we're going to use. Continue on with the preparation to start this project. We need a few more things. I have here some newspaper. So the way to set up your room, if you don't have an art room, especially dedicated to art, you can do it in the classroom, in a normal classroom, by grouping your desks. So you group your desks in groups of 4 or 5 or 6 desks according to the number of students, and then you use newspaper to put on the desks. So at the end of the class, you won't have any mess. So I got my newspaper here. We need masking tape. We need scissors to cut the cardboard if you are working with cardboard. If you are working with timber, the timber bits will be cut off already and you have to use them as they come. We need a rag because when you work with paint and glue, you need to wipe your fingers all the time. We also need some plastic wrap, because when you finish painting, you just put these ice cube trays normally don't have a lid, so it's nice to just cover with plastic wrap and it will last for a few lessons. We are going to change the position of the camera now in order to show you in a close-up how do we do the join technique, which is very important in construction. It's not difficult, anybody can do it, but it's a matter of knowing how to do it. So next take will be, we will start actually making these lovely constructions. As I said, I'll show you how to join this tube to the base. So what I did here, I actually fringed that, cut this fringe. Everybody knows how to cut a fringe like that. Then pressing down, fold it back, and that is ready. The next question comes, if I wanted to have like a head how do I join something like this here or something like that? I like a square head sort of thing. So what I did, I have cut here using the scissors. I'll do it right here, a little bit here and a little bit there, and take that, and that will go already there. So that is, you know, planning. We're not gluing yet. We are still planning, because I might like to have a round one or this square one. So we are in the planning stage. So after that, I probably do some funny ears. But what about a tail? That it will make this to look like a very funny dragon like that. Like that. So this tail, this comes then the use of what we call a paper hinge. So still planning like that. And the other thing that we are going to think about is probably a mouth. How do we do a mouth? With the scissors again, if you like to draw something that is going to be like a mouth, you can just draw a very simple shape, cut like this, and the question still becomes, how do I join this here? So I'll just fold it a bit as the other one here, and use the same technique, cutting these bits, this fringing here, folding back like that, and then we are going to apply this. So it will be, and you can have another one on the back, on the bottom there coming out. So I think we got to the point now that we can start actually gluing. I got my glue here, right here. It's very, as you can see, very thick, and I'll apply the glue here, there. And to make sure that it's going to be really well glued down, I'm sort of drawing that shape and applying there. Now, this is when you are going to use the rag, because you are going to start getting glue on your hands. But still not very, because the glue is still wet. So I got here a bit of masking tape that I have cut and positioned on the edge of the table. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, like that. So they're ready to go. So I'll place one there, and I'll place the other one there. So when the glue is ready, you can just peel off as I showed you before. Now, I think I have decided for a square sort of head. So it's going to go there. And I'll just paint the glue. Apply the glue there, because the glue is such a thick glue that it's going to stay in there. It's not going to move. And a bit of push it down, push it out, and you can see where the glue goes, where the cuts go. So you can again apply that bit. And there is what I would call the head. I'm just putting that in position with a pin. And after that, probably the tail. That's a good idea for the dragon. The tail on this side. That looks nice. So this is when you apply the, you use the hinge. Probably apply a little bit of glue here to reinforce that, Now we're going to try to attach the tail, this dragony tail. I got my pre-cut tape here, and just to keep it in position, we are going to use the masking tape. I'll show you in a minute, like that. Just very lightly like this. And then paper hinges, very light paper. We have to use light paper because the brown paper, the craft paper, is a bit too stiff, so it doesn't stay what we like. It's not doing what we like it to do. So there is one hinge. The hinge, I'll remind you that it's a piece of paper folded in half like that, and apply the glue this way. And this is the other hinge there. And when you take the tape, the masking tape off, you can take, you know, as much as you can, because the glue is so strong that it's not going to probably come off, but it's not a problem. So that's the other side of the tail that we have to work on. And we are applying here another paper hinge, folded, and apply the glue. Paper hinge here. The glue now, the paper is wrapping around the cylinder, so it's a lot easier. I'm just cutting this. This is, by the way, butcher's paper, so it's a very easy paper to find, or it could be photocopy paper, any paper like this. And the other hinge there, and that's it. Now we're going to do a bit on the head. I got my wet, it's a bit damp rag here just to clean my fingers. Always do that like that, because when your fingers get gluey, it's very hard to work. Now we have here what it will be a mouth, if you wish. And we have done the same technique, just cutting there and folding back. It's going to be tricky because this cardboard is quite strong. So I got also my pre-cut bits of masking tape ready to go. And the glue here. And with one hand, I'm holding the mouth of the beak. With the other hand, I'll apply the masking tape here. Like that. It wasn't as difficult as I thought, but that's the way to go. And a bit of something else, some ears, and another ear, applying the glue there. And this ear is going to be that way. It doesn't matter if they're not the same. I'd like to show you how to do feet. To do feet, you cut two bits of cardboard, it's nearly the same size. You then probably like to draw. Very simple. Cut, 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 cut. 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 Now, students always tend to cut one feet and then they can't do another one which is exactly the same. So if you want to do another one that is exactly the same, you just use the first one as a template, like that. Draw like this with the felt pen, and you have another foot here. And you can make them very simple or very complex, depends of your ability of cutting and drawing. And so this is an easy part that is very funny dragon with funny feet like this, and another one like that. The glue. And I think at this stage I have shown you the essential bits and pieces that you need to know, the knowledge that you need to have to actually put together a construction like that. If you like to have some funny wings like this made out of pattern pulp sticks, I'll show you how to do that. Now the first thing to do is probably mark here, because you will need the help of your teacher or mom and dad at home. Mark where your wings are going to go. Mark on the other side, there. And mom or dad or your teacher will have to use one of these instruments that are quite sharp, so it's not good for students, young students. So just by cutting a bit there carefully, twisting the knife like this, because we have the construction already made, so we have to be very careful. That went down a bit, but it doesn't matter. And cut here, just moving the knife like that, so you control, there is a certain control of the knife there, and another bit. So as I said, this is very much for your teacher and your parents. So what I did here, I used the glue and put the paddle pop stick there, just push in with a bit of glue. Here I have one of them that is completely dry. It's very strong. You can just do whatever you like because it's incredibly strong. And it still has some of the masking tape that we previously applied. So I'll take that off. That's no problem, before actually painting. And if it goes under one, just rip it off. We are going to leave this 24 hours at least to dry. So next day or next week or next session for this project is going to be ready to paint.